The royal family marked Easter Sunday with grace and grandeur, attending the annual service at St George's Chapel in Windsor.
And while it was known that Prince William and Kate would not attend, many were shocked to see Prince Andrew and Fergie make a joint appearance at the service. For more, we're joined by royal commentator Victoria Arbiter live in Melbourne. Good morning to you. Tell us how the service went, because there were some interesting factors, weren't there?
There were. Good morning to you. Well, it was certainly a glorious day in Windsor. The sun was shining brightly as the King, Queen and other members of the royal family made their way to St George's Chapel for that annual service. The service itself is actually a private family occasion, but at its conclusion, the King and Queen did briefly stop and greet well-wishers who'd been waiting to see them before returning to the castle for their traditional Easter Sunday lunch. Now, this year was a little different in the sense that last year the King had only just begun his treatment for cancer, so he did have to limit the number of people he was around. This year he was able to extend an invitation to other members of the royal family, and everyone certainly appeared to be in high spirits. As you mentioned, though, there has been a little shock about Prince Andrew and Sarah, Duchess of York. They were included last year as well, and some might say that Easter marks an end to a period of repentance, so maybe church was the best place Andrew could be.
Yes, certainly. Oh. Hey, Vicky, the Prince and Princess of Wales, they were no-shows at this church service. I think in years gone by, that would have been a bit more of a scandal, but they've said that they're just sort of balancing those life factors at the moment.
Certainly, I think when it comes to Easter in particular, this is not a mandatory family occasion. At Christmas, we tend to see a full roster of royals because it's one of the very few times of year they can all be together. But when it comes to Easter, it's much more about preference. And I think some people might be quite surprised to learn that actually, since 2011, when William and Kate married, they've only joined the Easter celebration on 5 occasions. During the late Queen's reign, Charles and Camilla traditionally spent Easter up in Scotland. And so really it's about preference. They sometimes want to spend time with their in-laws. They might want to spend time at their private family home. This is a decision that William will have run by his father. His father will have given his approval. That said, there are a huge number of royal fans that were very disappointed that they were not in attendance.
So let's talk about Andrew. It feels like he's been banished and then he just pops up on a random occasion. What's your read?
You know, it's tricky with Andrew, Nat, because, yes, he is deeply unpopular for obvious reasons, but he hasn't actually ever been charged, investigated, convicted of a crime. I think where Andrew really becomes incredibly problematic is his arrogance and his entitlement. If he had arrived at this church service and opted to enter through a private entrance, he would have saved his family a lot of embarrassment, but he always wants to be seen. And it's tricky with Fergie as well. I actually quite like Fergie. She's a bit of an eccentric old granny. She's the person that's always kind of really jolly and jolly hockey sticks and really wants to be there buoying up everybody's spirits. But she was waving at the crowds, making it a bit all about them. And I think that's what people struggle with. Whereas if they had just agreed to come in through a side entrance and shown a little bit more humility, maybe people wouldn't be quite so irritated by their presence.
Okay.
Yes, the arrogance and the entitlement. Your words there, Victoria. We love it.
Gee, she tells it like it is,
Doesn't
Victoria.
pull any punches, does she?
Yeah,
Thanks for that, Vicky.